Yeah, yeah. Give it up. Woo! What's up, Cowboy Nation, Cowboy Headquarters, and America's team? It's your guy, G, the #1 Cowboy fan, Hampton, coming at you live, direct, and correct with some Mo news. That's what I said, M-O news that you can use. And here we are on What's Up Wednesday. Give it up. Woo, before we go any further, I got somebody to bring on. Everybody's coming on. They're coming on it right now. And yeah, everybody we don't want everybody to be tardy to the party. So let's bring them on. I just lost Cowboys champ, but here we got wait a minute, let me see if I can bring them on. Hold on. Oh, it's my fault. Hold on. It's me, guys. It's me. Okay. All right. We got the Clifford Tarno in the house. Give it up. See. And not only that, we have Cowboys champ in the house. Give it up.
Hello, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
All right.
What's up, guys?
All right, now listen. I know y'all. Now listen. I'm not gonna be the only one on camera. I'm not gonna be talking all this. Now I know you Cowboy champ. I know what you got going on, but I gotta see some folks, man. It seems like I'm talking to the screen itself. Hey, guys, Cowboy champ, how you doing, brother? I see.
There you go.
I know your situation, brother.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Ready for Friday. That's my birthday.
Also, we got Miss Fleabug in the background. She's our moderator, so let's give it up for Miss Fleabug. She's in the background watching everything, so don't try anything because she's watching everything. Give it up. And there's Lord Nova. Our faithful subscriber, one that keeps it real with us all the way from the PA, Pennsylvania, out there in Philadelphia, holding it down, representing them Cowboys. Lord Nova 85. Give it up one more time. Yeah. All right, Cliff, how you doing, brother?
Man, it has been a very, very hot couple of days here in Phoenix, let me tell you.
Well, I tell you what, you guys are in Arizona, so yeah, I'm sure it is pretty warm and toasty in Arizona, right?
Oh, buddy. I'm missing that Dallas weather, I promise you.
Hey, it's actually cool here in the DFW area, man. It's probably about 78, 76.
Yeah. No, let's try like 111.
Oh,
Damn.
hold on, let me give it to you.
Yeah. Yesterday was like 118.
No.
That's Arizona. In that desert.
Yeah, I've been there, man. My son played there 2 years. Man, listen here. Nothing nice, man. It's like walking in hell.
Yeah, it's not. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Phoenix is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, Cowboys champ, how you doing, my guy?
Doing good, man. Getting ready for Friday because it's my birthday.
Whoa, Give it up. Cowboy champ got a birthday coming up on July 4th, really?
July the 4th, man.
Wow, give it up. Man. So
I know every year after my birthday, then I know we only got 3 more weeks until training camp.
Well, the cool part about that, though, Cowboys champ, is the fact that you get the ultimate celebration, brother. I mean, nobody gets it better than who gets fireworks every year on their birthday?
I know. Everybody's celebrating me.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That is awesome, man. Well, hey, man, happy early birthday to you, brother. Felicia Collins.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I was trying to wait to some Danny Savage come in and maybe Cowboys Corner come in, but if not, we're going to have to get right on into it because we don't want to keep the folks waiting long. But what I do want to talk about, guys, like I say, OTAs are over with, and we're moving right into training camp. And right now, no news sometimes is good news, but right now, we're still at the point, we're still waiting on the Micah Parsons situation. We know that DeMarvion Overshown is working to get back on the field. As I was told, he's trying to be on the field by the first game, Cowboy champ. What do you think about that, brother?
Man, I just don't want him to have a setback.
Yeah.
Because we've been having too many players in the past with injuries, and I don't know the power that be that try to rush them back, or if the players themselves are worried that somebody else is going to take their position. But these players, especially this coming year, they need to take their time to come back to make sure there's no setback. Because we have
Yeah.
way too many players with ACL.
Yeah, and that's so true, man. I totally get it. I understand that DeMarvin wants to be on the field. He wants to participate. But listen, guy, I'd rather for him to, be healthy and not take, like you say, not take that risk, man. So, yeah, I totally agree. So, Cliff, what do you think, brother? How you feeling about that? He wants to be on the field on the first week.
So coming from a guy that's had two knee surgeries, um, I know for a fact, if treated properly, if rehab done the right way, you can be 100%, and I mean 100% in 9 months.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we got,
So
yeah, you're right.
your body tells you. If his body's telling him he can play, let the dude play. I mean, he's. We had this conversation on Monday. I
Yeah.
like Overshown. Overshown is a guy that I think um, will absolutely make a huge difference with these linebackers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna make a difference. I mean, he makes Michael Parson look slow out there running from sideline to side. So and we'll have to see, man, because like I said, we got a lot of competition going on at this linebacker position, but it also, like I said, as well, they're getting ready to head to Oxnard. They will be doing their training camp in Oxnard. Again, I'm really curious of what this practice is going to look like. I'm sure it's going to be a lot different from what we've seen from how Mike McCarthy conducted his practices. So, yeah, I'm sure that's we all are eager to see what that's going to look like. So let's get into this topic, guys. We're going to go ahead and get going. And anybody that stops doing again, hey, let me put the link in the let me put the link here. Felipe, if you can put the link in the comments for me. And anybody wants to come on and kind of, share their thoughts about our Cowboys, this is what we do on What's Up Wednesday. Straight barbershop talk. Give it up. But, so here's the thing, man. We're going to come with a barbershop type topic today. And the question is, and we'll start with you, Cowboys champ. Can the Cowboys win the NFC East? And if so, or what would it take in order for them to win the NFC East? What all that consists of. So what do you think? So let's hear from you, starting with you, brother.
Offensively, they got to go back to 2016. Defensively, it depends on that. To me, it depends on the defensive line, especially up the middle. So that's still been my concern because they still a little light as an overall group, but I hope you have some players that can clog the middle up so you can that can free up the linebackers and defensive ends to get to the ball carrier. So you won't put so much pressure on the cornerbacks and safeties.
Yeah.
But it's still it's going to depend on the offense, really, because the reason why I said 2016, Cowboys had a run base, and back then
2016. Okay.
Yeah, they ran.
They 2016, right?
Yeah, they ran the ball down people's throat. They didn't put so much pressure on Dak, and teams didn't know what to do because the defense was so gassed out. Then you can go over top.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you have to keep that defense fresh. And to me, that would be the only way that I said I give them a chance to win the NFC East.
Okay, so you're basically saying that there needs to be balance on this offensive side of the ball, basically.
Exactly. It can. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's what's up. The Clifford Torno. How is it possible? Can the Cowboys win the NFC East? And how is that? What would that look like?
I mean, it's absolutely possible. You're looking at a team that, I mean, has won the NFC East every other year for the last, 8 years almost. So it's not out of the question. We're looking at a team that even when we didn't have a run game 2 years ago, we still won the NFC East. Um, I think Cowboys corner there or Cowboys chance there is absolutely correct. Though we are going to have to, if we want to go further in the playoffs other than a round one exit, we're going to have to do two things, and they both consist of run. We're going to
Hmm.
have to offensively run the ball, and we're going to have to do it well. Defensively, we're going to have to stop the run, and we're going to have to do it well. That's the only way that we're going to go further than just NFC East champions. We've done it time and time again over the course of the last 29 years, right? There hasn't been a repeat winner for the NFC East since 2004. So we're looking at 21 years. So Cowboys didn't win it last year. We know how that season went. We can absolutely do it again this season, winning the NFC East. If we do what we haven't done in the last 29 years, which is have a great offense throwing the ball, great offense running the ball, great defense stopping the ball, stopping the run, and then a great defense defending the throw, we'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we all have the same blueprint of what it's going to take. And you know what? And you're right, Cliff. That is something that I have been watching in the past with our Cowboys. It was like every odd year was the years that we did great. We did well, man. And I thought I was the only one keeping up with that. I mean, we're talking about four. Well, no, was it odd or even? I think it was the evens. I think it was the
So
even.
no, no, no. It's
24,
the odds.
It's the
It's the
odds.
odds. We
24.
had one. We had one even year where we were really good.
Yeah.
Actually, 2024. I'm sorry, 2014, 2016.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, I think with 2018,
We won.
19, and
Well,
then we
then
had the 21, 22, 23.
21, 23. Wasn't it 21,
20,
23?
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I thought I was the only one keeping up with that. Man, I'm like, wow, just like every odd year we're that's when we excel. So here we are in
Hey, you know
21.
what? We can go back to oh 07, oh 09.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's so true. And again, this is what my take is on this here, man. Again, I said this early, and I'm going to keep saying it. The thing about where we can actually jump off to a fast pace is because of this offense and um, not having a blueprint. When I say the opposing team not having a blueprint of what the offense is going to look like. Okay, so that could probably play in our favor because we don't know what this offense is going to look like. We got two number one receivers. We got our quarterback back. We got a healthy tight end, and we're going to have a running back by committee. So, but what is the offense going to look like? We do not know. So you use that as an advantage. But I do say the same thing with the offense. We definitely have to have clock management. We have to know how to balance the offense with the run game and the pass game. You want to stack the box with 8 players. Well, we're gonna go over top. You want to drop back and cover two, cover three. We're gonna run the ball. Okay, so it's things like that I think will work in our favor. Now on the defensive side of the ball, I think we still have some question marks. We have question marks at the defensive tackle, but there are a couple of players that I have been watching. I think you and I, Cliff, talked about the kid Jay, and we talked about Tommy. Some rookies that we got coming in as possible today, and then we also brought Winfrey. Perion Winfrey, we brought in from USFL. So that is something that there's a question mark. But this defense is definitely going to have to. We have to be able to stop the run. We don't do anything else. We have to be able to stop the run, like you guys said as well. But yeah, it's going to have to be balanced on both sides. And again, it's going to have to start with these coaches putting these players in a position to be successful. So playing to their strength, knowing what your strengths are, knowing what your weaknesses are, trying to avoid the weakness and stay in the course on the strength side. So yeah, man. I mean, I think it's possible, but it's going to be challenging. And knowing that because this division, every game is a rival. Every game is a rival. I mean,
Hey, hey guys, one thing that nobody or hardly ever talk about the defense is discipline. If you notice, whenever the Cowboys, the linebackers and the defensive end, when they go after the quarterback, and when the offense do a running play, you always have too many gaps, wide gaps open, because the Cowboys pass rushers and linebackers, they over pursue just to get to the quarterback. They need to start having discipline and stay in their zip code until somebody start coming their way and stop really over pursuing. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times you see too many gaps wide open, especially like if you have a running quarterback, he in the pocket. A lot of times when they know where Parsons going to be at, they'll double team him, push him out the way. You have wide open space for either running back or the quarterback to take off running and get 5 or 10 yards. That's one thing they must fix if they want to get the defense off the field.
Yeah. What do you think, Cliff?
I agree, and I think one of the ways that they're going to have to fix that is they're going to have to quit playing Micah at end. They're going to have to, because Micah, he's fast and he's strong, but the one thing he's not is heavy.
Right.
So when they double team him, they can push him all the way out on the outside and create those gaps, and they can do it on both ends. Right. D Law was great, but he wasn't heavy. So I think Dan Quinn, when he was here, kind of built this defense for speed and speed alone. And I think that's what hurt us the most, is we didn't have a big defensive, our guards especially. Yeah. Our guards need to be very big, because I want forward momentum. I don't want side moment. I want forward. Let your linebackers cover your edges and those gaps at the same time between your edges and your guards, but they're getting they're getting separation between those two positions way too easily, because we don't have the weight on the outside edge.
Yeah, and all of that, but when your one technique can't draw a double team, well, that causes one of the offensive players to release and put a body on the linebacker. So we have to have, and you're right. I think Dan Quinn defense was more of a pass rush type defense. I mean, now we could say our DTs were, all of them was up under 300. I think all of them like 290, 280, 280. So, they was really, really light, and it hurt us. It hurt us. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that, man. It definitely going to make a difference. So I agree.
By the way, I want to point out something that you were talking about a second ago, is clock management. If you're watching these videos of these OTAs and camps that they're having, they are actually practicing the hurry up offense and clock management. Hey, we need to call a timeout real fast. Or, hey, we don't have any timeout, so I need you to throw the play and kill the ball. And so they're practicing that. And that's something that I don't think we've ever really seen, even back with Jason Garrett. I don't think we've seen that kind of practice on with the team of clock management, because it's not just your coach that needs to worry about that clock management. We've seen Dak with clock management problems as well, a couple of times. So them actually practicing that, I think, is going to help us as well.
Yeah, it's more like playing under pressure. I mean, they're simulating game situations basically. What do you think about that, Cowboys champ?
Man, y'all hitting the topic on the nail right now. I was just about to say one thing about Dak playing in the hurry up type offense. He excelled at that.
He really does.
And I know you can't do it all the time, but during the first half of the game, I'll say implement that so that all the offense, they can be worried about passing instead of running. And then another thing, they definitely have to start working on clock management, because with McCarthy, we definitely seen that was Achilles' heel.
Yeah,
with the team, because we've seen so many times where the Cowboys trying to come back, and you have more than enough time, and they'll call bonehead plays, or they get confused, like throw a ball somewhere else. I'm like, come on, guys, y'all got to do better than this.
And not only that, but it kept our defense on the field. It kept
Yes,
man, our defense was gas, man, because of the lack of production from our offense. So yeah, that it again, not just balance on your offense, but there has to be balance on between offense and defense as well. So yeah, that's a great point, man. So here and here, when we talk about this defense, Cliff, so it looks as if they're going to move Deron Bland back to the nickelback. Wait a minute. What? This man just broke records for you, and you move him to the nickelback, and we're saying that we're going to move Khair Elam to your cornerback. Is that a plus or is that a negative? I mean, what do you think about that?
That's a plus, baby.
that's
That
a
is a
plus.
plus.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Deron Bland at nickel is where you want that dude. I mean, that's where
Exactly.
you want that dude.
Okay, okay. I guess I mean with the production we got him at cornerback, man. I was just like, man, this guy is a threat at this
Okay,
cornerback. But so now,
I
what
got
what
to
does,
say,
what does that do, Cowboy Champ, as far as putting him at
I
the nickel back?
I got to say this. I got to say this. Now, remember now, 2 years ago when Bland set the record for the most interceptions, he started out as the nickelback, but
Yeah,
when I think it was Diggs, somebody, yeah, Diggs got hurt, they moved him outside, and we saw what happened when uh, when Bland played somebody like a DK Metcalf type of caliber player.
yeah.
He can't handle those big receivers. So, but the slot receivers, that's more of his angle.
Okay,
And see, and I think what the Cowboys trying to do, they're trying to keep big cornerbacks on the outside, and
okay.
for those fast slot receivers, put Blander. Because remember now, uh, what's the guy from Michigan that just left, who was here for a long time? I'm having the
Was
brain for it right now.
you talking about a Jordan Lewis?
Jordan Lewis,
Yeah,
yes.
Lewis.
Jordan Lewis excelled at the nickelback,
Yeah, man.
and that's going to be Bland's new job. But even though he was playing nickel when he first about 2 years ago, and he did excel. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's a positive move.
and I'm not down on Khair Elam. I think he could probably play that position. He was a first round pick. It just basically no. I say this too, Cliff. A lot of times, I think players have to fit the scheme. They got to
Mhm.
that they have to be able to. I think a lot of times these teams draft players. Well, wow, he's a number one, but you can either help him or hurt him. If he doesn't fit your scheme and the type of plays that you run, it can definitely hurt that player. So, um, again, I think Kyer Elam would probably be someone to keep an eye on and see how he holds it down on that side over there. But along with you, Cliff. So, how does this help as well as far as the run Bland at that slot at the nickel cornerback?
Yeah, you got to remember, Deron Bland didn't start off as a starter with the
Yeah.
Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
This is going on his third or fourth year. The man's already got 14 interceptions playing in this game.
Woo.
14. And he has split his time from nickel to outside and has excelled at both of them,
Yeah.
regardless. Deron Bland has been fantastic. Um, when we're talking about Elam, right? Yeah, we'll see how he fits in the scheme.
Yeah.
It's not, we all grew up playing sports, right? We know that there's chemistry as well. And when you have chemistry and everybody's jiving and getting along, you play better. You want to play better for your teammates. You want to play better for your team when you're getting along and everything like that. That's the reason why I think that if Elam can come in and and get along and everybody can get on the same page, I think he'll do fine. I think Bland back at the nickel is going to be excellent.
Yeah.
Um, and I just we'll see how Elam does, but I don't see him doing horrible.
Right. No, again, like you said, it depends on how he fits in the scheme, and all we can do is just give him a chance. But I want to go to this next topic, guys. I don't know if y'all heard. So there's been a major trade that then took place. Woo! Wait a minute. Yeah, there's a major trade. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but the blockbuster trade consists of the Steelers are sending Minka Fitzpatrick to Miami in exchange for Janu Smith and Jalen Ramsey. So our hopes of bringing Jalen Ramsey here are done. So this is something that they made, and also that the Dolphins will be receiving a 2027 seventh round pick. So, Cowboys champ, what do you think about this blockbuster trade?
Uh, if
Miami, Pittsburgh.
if Ramsey would have came here, I would love him to play safety. I think he would have excelled at safety. But okay, here's another thing about the Steelers trading for Ramsey. I don't know what the problem they had with Patrick, but the Steelers said they got rid of uh man, excuse my language, I got a brain for it. The no, they traded the wide receiver to the Cowboys because they said he was a diva. But if you look at their roster, they got they got Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers, and now Jalen Ramsey. They all me type players. So hey, I hope maybe it work out for him. I'm not sure, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But if he would have came here, I would love for him to play safety.
Mm. What do you think, Cliff?
I think that's what it's going to depend when they take Ramsey. Where are they going to play him? Are they going to keep him at corner? Are they going to move him to safety? Because everybody has said that Ramsey doesn't have the speed that he once had to be corner. Right? He's still going to be, he's still a decent corner, but he's not that corner guy anymore.
You're
And
right.
then if they move him to safety, then he's going to excel at it. I think it's all going to depend on how the Pittsburgh Steelers use Jalen Ramsey. And if they use him the right way, might be okay. But I'm not going to, me and you had this conversation. I would have loved having Jalen Ramsey and putting him at safety. I'm kind of glad he's out of the NFC.
That's where I was going with this. I said, if we can't have him, I don't want him in the NFC. So and you're right about that. Yeah, for sure, man. No joke, no joke. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What you got, Cowboy?
I got a question.
Listening.
Diggs, whenever he come back, do you think 'cause I've been hearing talking that that the Cowboys might switch him to safety instead of cornerback?
Who? Diggs?
Diggs.
I mean, come on now. I mean, that's disrespectful.
Well,
I mean,
think about this.
no.
Okay, hold
Oh,
on. Hear me out. When he was with no the first I think the first two seasons he was under Al Harris before he got injured, he did play a lot of freelance off the
yeah.
ball, and that's where he got a lot of his interceptions. Okay, just imagine him in the center field as a safety.
Oh,
He can be able to read the field and read the routes because he used to be a former wide receiver. It's just
no,
something to think about.
Cowboys champ. I mean, are we forgetting that what he has brought to the table since he's been here? I mean, I understand. Listen, one thing I learned, as far as a parent of a player that played in the NFL, man. When the injury, but I mean, as a fan, it's easy for us to say, next man up, next man up.
Mhm.
But when you look at it from a parent or a player's perspective, you know, they put a lot into what they do. And when that injury bug hits them, it takes them out. But, you know, again, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt because he was a pretty good cornerback. I think so. I think he was pretty
Do
good
you,
cornerback.
do you think you think because it was the system he played, or when they changed up the system, he really didn't get Zimmer scheme because he really excelled under Quinn. Because for one thing, the Cowboys, no, with the Cowboy offense during that time, they had the lead and the defense pinned the ears back to go after the quarterback so that the quarterback had to rush the ball. And then a lot of times that's when the ball was either tipped or thrown wrong, and Diggs was right there. But just imagine if he was a safety, he'd have free range like that.
What do you think, Cliff?
I'm not against what Cowboy Champ's saying here.
Oh my gosh,
If you if hang on here, I'm not, because if you think about it, I mean, we have like 7 or 8 corners right now. We only have one free safety in Malik Hooker, and we have 3 safeties. Donovan Wilson is the number one safety in my opinion, right? But if you were to take someone like Diggs, who's a ball hawk, I mean, he's a ball hawk, right? The dude can read a quarterback. He can sit there and he's got the speed. It'd be kind of neat to see him try out and see if he could play that position because I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not saying right now that I'm for it, but I'm not against it. I mean, it's not a horrible idea. When you have somebody that has that kind of speed and the ability to catch that ball like he does,
I
not
guess.
as, I'm not against it.
Oh wow.
I love dude. Listen, I love Diggs, and Diggs has been, in the past, he's given up some pretty big plays because he went for the ball first. If you put him in a position to where
To be a ball hawk.
don't let anybody behind you and be a ball
Oh my gosh.
And that's what we need. I mean, when was the
hawk,
last time the
it
Cowboys had a
ain't
ball hawk at a safety?
it ain't a bad it ain't a bad thought.
It's not, man, because you have free range, and he is smart now, especially
Okay, well,
by playing former wide receiver.
let's let Michael play quarterback.
No, come on
No,
now.
no.
What?
We already let
Hey,
Michael play defensive end.
let Micah run the rock one time. Let's see what
Oh,
happens there.
okay. We going way too far, y'all. We are.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
they'll run. Yeah, they'll be running back and see what happens.
man, and I guess we'll let Dak do punt returns. Come on, man.
See, now we're going. That's way too far. We're still talking about guys with speed and ability to hit folk, right?
I
I
get
Yeah.
it.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. If you
that
want,
that
go ahead.
that's going to throw that ball. Let he gonna get us. If he has to scramble 10 yards, let's let him do it. But running the ball, running punt returns, come on
No, I'm just throwing that out there. But man, I don't know, man. I mean, boy, we're talking about two guys, and what? What I think Diggs, he had so many interceptions one year as well, didn't he? I think he had.
Yeah, he
now.
almost.
11.
Yeah,
He had
he was like
11.
what
He had 11
4?
interceptions that year.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
4 from the record.
God. So, I mean, and we'll just have to say time will tell. So, oh, I know we're talking about Dak running the ball and doing punt return, but I want to talk about somebody that plays behind him a little bit, man. And Joe Milton the third, and
Mm.
he is our backup quarterback. So he's 25 years old. Look, history on him. So he's 25 years old. He once played with Michigan Wolverines. He played there for so many years, and then he went on to Tennessee and finished with Tennessee. He was drafted by New England Patriots. So he's standing at 6'5". Okay. He has a completion percentage of 75.9 and pass attempt of 29. But I guess the question is, how do we judge Joe Milton? I mean, let me start here. what do you think about Joe Milton? Starting with you, Cliff. What do you think about Joe Milton and his play up to this point? I know we hadn't seen much, but how can we, how can we figure? I mean,
I
how
mean,
can we work this out as far as?
well, right now there's such a small sample size on him, right? I think he played like one game.
Yeah,
Um, eye test wise, the kid's got talent. He can throw the ball. He's pretty accurate. Um, he's very promising. Uh, we won't know until we won't know until we actually have to use him, right?
mhm,
That's but if, for my opinion, Cooper Rush was a success here, right? For
yeah,
the Dallas Cowboys,
yeah,
but I believe it's time for Cooper Rush. As a backup quarterback, I believe bringing Milton in, he's got the age, mentality, looks far better than what Cooper Rush looked coming out. I don't think it's a bad idea. I like it.
yeah, yeah. Um, aka Cam throws are getting intercepted in a long route. And it's possible. It just depends on the play design too. Dude is slow. I don't know. I remember him when he was at Michigan. Didn't watch much of him, but I remember him being there. But I do remember him when he was at Tennessee, and I watched a couple of games. Um, I could say that he's good. I would say he was probably in the middle of the pack at the time when he was playing with Tennessee, but I really didn't see anything that stood out to me. A few times I saw him make some bad throws, but again, we know, like you say, we know he has a strong.
The game he played in, right? 75.9. The yards were 241, average of 8 yards a throw. The long ball was 48 yards, one touchdown. I mean, the sample size we have, right,
Yeah,
is one game.
that's it. And we're trying to use the measuring stick with the Patriots against who was that they played? I forget who they played, but yeah, that one game that he did play. So that's all we have on him, but it's still
It was
something.
against the Bills. He
Yeah, it
played
was
against the
against
Buffalo Bills,
yeah,
and they
exactly
won that game 23-16. It was
right.
week 18. So, like, I think it was the fact that the Bills were already in. I don't know if Allen played or they had starters going, but it was that one touchdown is what won them the game, 23-16, uh, against the Bills. So,
Yeah, and again, I think it's something to see, and maybe we'll see him in preseason, and we'll get a chance to gauge him from the preseason game. And here we are with our guy, Cowboys Corner. Give it up. Hello, Cowboys Corner. How are you, brother?
What's going on, you guys? Thanks for having me. Thanks for sharing the link. Look, can I get right into it, G.
Let's
Hampton?
get right into it, man.
These guys agreed and is talking about Trayvon Diggs playing safety. These guys want a quarterback who makes business decisions to be on the top end to play safety. The guy who don't like the tackle. What is going on here? What are we talking about? Are we forgetting who Trayvon Diggs is? We've scolded this guy for not making tackles. You want multiple 2021 George Kittle missed tackles? What are we doing? That's
listen,
what you're going to get.
we've seen
That's a big
Trayvon make
safety
some big
position.
hits. We've seen Trayvon make some big hits.
We've seen him make more business decisions than we have big hits. And it was big when he had made the big hits, it's 3 yards in front of him. When he makes the business decisions, it's when he's running towards the player, aka prime example, George Kittle hit, non-hit, where he caught the ball, crucial first down in a playoff game.
Uh, I
And
mean,
thank you,
I
Cowboys Corner, because I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, safety. I don't know about that, man. But I mean, it is what it is.
all I know is the speed and the ball hawk at safety. versus a corner that has to hit more often. I want him just for going after the ball. If using him strictly for going after the ball when it's in the air. I'm not talking about him for his tackling.
So what happens if he misses the ball in the air?
You have a corner. He's not that. I want him to go after the ball. That's all I want him to do.
As a corner, or
you're saying so? What
as a safety?
If he's going to play the safety position, it would be nice to see him to be a ball hawk. Now we're not, and like I say, quarterbacking from that, from the safety position, and maybe that's probably what he could do. But I'm like you, Cowboys corner. I think that's being a little disrespectful. But everybody have their opinions, and I just feel that I would rather keep him at the cornerback position. Okay, so yeah. But so with that being said, we was talking about Joe Milton, man, and trying to figure out what that looks like for us throughout the season. I mean, I know we don't have much tape on him, but what do you think that he could bring to the table if needed? Is it somebody we can depend on, or is it somebody we just probably just made a mistake bringing him here?
From what I'm seeing from Joe Milton, the guy cannot throw a short pass. He just can't do it. 90-yard bombs is not going to win your football games. Period. I got to see a lot of Joe Milton in these preseason games because I knew what Cooper Rush could do, and I was confident in what Cooper Rush could do. This is on a whole nother level. This guy only has one start underneath his belt. We are fortunate to have Cooper Rush's services all these years. Now we're dealing with his second year guy coming with a new team. If he was that good, the Patriots would have kept him as a backup. Starter at best, right? I'm not hyping Joe Milton up like I did Trey Lance last year. I've learned my lesson. All right. And Trey Lance had more reps than Joe Milton. So Joe Milton has a lot to show me. Just because you could throw the ball 90 yards doesn't mean you can game manage when you need to game manage and win a football game.
So we could possibly have another Trey Lance on our hand? Is that what you're saying?
It could be worse.
Dude, Trey Lance never looked this good.
And what are you going off of?
Confused.
What are you going off of?
What's that?
What are you going off of? You're saying Trey Lance has never looked Joe Milton good? What are you going off of?
Yes. The one game that he played, the one game Joe Milton played, Trey Lance never had a game that looked that good.
You sure about that?
Yeah, let's go pull up some stats.
About to right now. So Joe Milton had 241 and a touchdown.
75%
24, 29?
75% accuracy.
And Trey Lance had 266 and an interception.
With what kind of percentage for accuracy? What was his?
Let's look.
What was his passer rating? Joe Milton's was 111.4.
All right. He had to step out for a minute.
Trey Lance never looked this good.
38. So were there starters playing in that game or not against the Patriots?
I mean, I don't remember. I didn't watch the game, but it was against the Bills.
You're playing, right? It's who you're playing. So
he was playing against the Bills. Bills Mafia defense in 2020.
Bills are going to the playoffs, and this was a Week 18 game.
We all know that only the offense is what goes off the field. The starting defense always plays.
You
don't pull the starting defense. You pull your starting offense.
Starting key defensive players are benched.
So
Yes.
So it has yet to be seen. That's all we can say. That's all we can say. We don't know what we're going to get from Joe Milton. I mean, the preseason games will tell us what we have in Joe Milton. And you also got to remember we have Will Grier. So, I mean, Cowboys corner, what about Will Grier?
What about him?
Well,
I'm not
that's what
gonna
I'm
waste my
asking.
breath on
I love
him
that
either.
face. I love that face.
He's another backup. I mean, he's a backup to the backup.
Right. What am I supposed to do? Get my pop and go ahead. Woohoo. Come on, Will Greer. You know, it's Will Greer.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Again, I'm sure we will see these guys in preseason, and that'll tell what we have on this team if it was worth bringing these guys on or what. But so I guess the question is, Cowboys champ, starting with you, do you think we should see our starters on the field these preseason games coming up?
The second game,
Okay.
just to see what they looking like.
You
But
talking about?
I agree with Cowboys corner. That first game, this should be all about Milton. I want to see he definitely need to put in the work. He need to put in a lot of work, especially on his short game.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
But for the starters, about a maybe 2 series. Just see what they're looking like.
So Cowboys corner, do we want to see our starters in these preseason games?
Yeah, I want to see our starters in every preseason game. Our starters haven't earned the right to sit nowhere. Patrick Mahomes plays these games. Joe Burrow plays these games. It's time for us to put away the baby diapers and the baby powder and have these own guys wipe their own ass. It's time for them to be adults and go out there and be professionals and knock off this rust. It is. And then, G. Hampton, you have the link shared in the chat. And there's a loudmouth talker in there that's more than welcome to click the link and come on and let's go one-on-one. We can go live on Cowboys Corner too. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
AKA Cam.
Hey, what it is though? If you're man enough to talk X's and O's, slide in the DMs like a hoe. You know that's how it goes.
So yeah, that's something we have to see. So I want to get into this next time before we get out of here, man, because I know we run out of time here. So the question has been said, man. It's been reported. They're saying Dak Prescott's spot in the NFL quarterback ranking shows Cowboys star still has major doubters. And I guess that's I guess Cliff. I guess they have every right to down Dak or what?
Listen, so there's a lot of people that put a lot of emphasis on playoff and wins and losses. Then you have people that put emphasis on regular season. Quarterbacks, number one to say, are paid because of regular season, not playoffs. If that was the case, nobody would make over $20,000 or $20 million a year, except for Patrick Mahomes. Dak, when you look at the numbers or regular season, is a top 5 quarterback every day of the week because of the numbers. If you put in playoffs, Dak's not a top 5 quarterback because of the numbers. Even though he had successful game against Green Bay, everybody calls it, garbage stats. You're either going to hate Dak or you're going to love Dak. Being a Cowboys quarterback, you're going to get more hate than you're going to get love, period. Because time and time again, if Dak was on just about any other team in the league with the numbers that he has, he would be praised by more than what he is right now.
Yeah. Cowboys champ, what do you think? Should fans still have doubts about Dak, or is that a little bit too harsh?
Yeah. Because if you the highest paid player in the game right now, you should be playing like the highest paid player in the game. And regardless of who you play against, you're supposed to be playing at a high level at every game. Now, yeah, but really it's because of his contract and the fact that he is 2-5 in the playoffs, especially I'm going back to 21, 22, 23. We had a hell of a good chance to go to NFC championships, and 2 of the games, you can say 3, but 2 of the games, you could put it on Dak or the coaching staff not preparing the whole team for where they were at. But this right here, I'm like this. If you want to praise Dak, the coaching staff are going to have to put a tight leash on Dak so he won't be making mistakes on his own. That's why I keep harping on running the ball, short game, play action. That's Dak's game.
Yeah, and that's so true.
And you cannot make him to the gunslinger. He's not a gunslinger.
Well, I mean, it's all about the coaching staff putting him in a great situation to be successful. I mean, you can't. I mean, we saw what Mike McCarthy did. I mean, I don't know. It was. I think it was between the both. I think it was between Dak making bonehead mistakes and Mike McCarthy calling bonehead plays. So I think it went hand in hand. So Cowboys corner, what do you think? I guess the fans have a right to continue to doubt Dak at this point.
What has Dak done to prove the doubters wrong?
Well,
Dak hasn't proved me wrong.
We have won some NFC East championship games. I mean, come on now. We have won those. And I mean, it's not like
winning the NFC East. Is that what we hang banners for?
Well, no, I'm not. Listen, but that's an accolade that you can use. That is.
What's the accolade? Losing in the playoffs because you won your NFC East?
Well, now what we're saying, what has he done now? To say somebody hadn't done anything, that means
more than half of Dak Prescott's career.
Hey, Cowboys corner, I got a question for you now.
I got a question for you too. Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Respectively. What has Dak Prescott, more than half of his career, has played a weak division? If you disagree with that, you're blind. A weak division. He owns
and he did what he's supposed to have done in the weak division, right?
Right. And what we're supposed to do? Give him a cookie for it? Well, so I mean, it's a division. Name me a team a good team that Dak Prescott has beat in the last 4 years.
Yeah, he's beaten the 49ers. He's beaten the Eagles. That was a time we was beating. It was a time we was beating the 49ers.
When were the Eagles good? When they won the Super Bowl? When were the Eagles good?
49ers always been good. So what are we saying?
So 2022, didn't the Eagles go to the Super Bowl? Didn't the Eagles go to the Super Bowl in 2022?
Yeah.
Well, we beat them in 2022.
That's still an NFC East team. So we play them 2 times a year.
Yeah, went to the Super Bowl.
When did we beat a good team? We
beat the reigning defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs with Tom Brady. You see, don't ask a question and I give you an answer, then you sit back in your seat like, oh, come on.
Here's this. Why couldn't he beat the Broncos? Why couldn't he beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium when the defense held him to 19 points? Why couldn't he do that? Why did he look like doo-doo against the Raiders?
Let me answer that question. So the San Francisco game that you just brought up, we lost Tony Pollard in the second quarter. We had no running game.
I brought up the Broncos game. I brought up the Raiders game. I brought up those games. I didn't bring up that game. You brought that game.
Name one team that has not lost the game that they're supposed to win.
You're ignoring my questions. What happened to the Chiefs game at Arrowhead when our defense held them to 19 points?
We lost.
Why?
We lost.
Why?
We lost.
Why?
We lost.
Why did we lose?
Why is there a reason that you need a reason why a loss is a loss?
There was an easy touchdown to Michael Gallup down the sideline, and Dak threw it so high in the air. Tony Romo commentated, you have to be Michael Jordan in your prime to catch that ball. He chokes against big teams.
We lost.
Come on now.
But we have. You said
that defense did something no other defense has done in Patrick Mahomes' career, holding the 19 points at Arrowhead Stadium, and Dak Prescott had the prime opportunity to freaking do it.
Okay, so again,
So one bad throw.
The Broncos game, the lightning delay. What did Dak Prescott do in that? I'm not even talking about playoffs. So he had the 2-5 playoff record, but I'm talking about regular season. Dak Prescott has done nothing to earn the doubters' respects.
So what you're saying is Super Bowl or bust, right? That's basically what you're saying.
What I'm saying is get me to consistency in the playoffs.
How many coaches has he been under since he's been here?
This is his third coach. What does that matter?
Yeah.
He
How many offensive coordinators?
He won 36 games under one of them.
Okay, so that's something. So we can say,
But check this out.
something.
No, that's something, right? But check this out. G, have to check this. I'm about to school you here. We had number one top 5 defense, and we had number 1 special teams play. We did not have that last year. And Dak Prescott was on pace to have 17 interceptions. Wow, that's pretty incredible, ain't it?
Well, when you
That's last year. Are you talking about last year?
No, you didn't. You only hear what you want to hear. I said in those 36 wins, he had a top 5 defense and number 1 and the best special teams when it came to block punts and taking the ball away and scoring.
What happened in that playoff game to that top 5 defense?
You take that away, and then he has to score. At the bye week, the kicker had more points than Dak Prescott. How can you defend that?
You know what?
I can easily defend that.
Of course you can, because you're a Dacker. You'll make any excuse. You'll pull out your Bible.
No.
Corner.
Pure facts.
You know how we got to the Super Bowl in 1993?
Pound that rock.
No. Field goals. Lynn Elliott. We had more field goals than touchdowns in 93. Believe me. It was a lot of times we didn't score. We got in field goal range. That's what got us. So, bro, and I understand what you're saying. You're saying that what has he done for us? What has he done? He has, I mean, again, he hasn't won a big game. And I'm not a big time Dak guy myself, but we do have to give him credit when credit's due. Regular season, he has done some things. We have won a few NFC championships.
You know what the regular season is, G? The regular season's a job interview. And if you interview well on the job, and you get the job done, you have to get the job done in the playoffs.
You got 30 other teams that's in the same boat as Dak.
You think I care about 30 other teams? 31 other teams? I don't.
If you're talking about wins,
Bengals back here,
talking about wins and losses.
Hey, Cowboys corner. Here you go. Hang on, Cowboys corner. When we lost to Green Bay in the playoffs,
please bring that game up.
That season when we lost. What was our defense rate during the season?
They were top 10.
Top 10, right?
Yeah.
So how'd they play in that Green Bay game? Were they a top 10 defense?
Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about that
defense? The defense. We're talking about the defense. I know. I see that you are a complete Dak hater, right?
I don't know Dak to hate him. Sorry.
So the defense. How did the defense play in that game?
You ready for this?
Sure.
You ready for this? They had them stopped, and they committed a penalty, and it kept the drive going. They had 2 penalties that kept that first drive going. Dak Prescott went out there and went 3 and out.
That's not defense.
Mute this, Mike. I'm not done. The defense forced them to punt. The defense forced them to punt on their second drive. Dak Prescott got the ball back and threw an interception.
Yeah. And we're not – listen, nobody's saying Dak Prescott.
That's the first quarter. What happened to the rest of that game?
The thing about it, nobody's saying that Dak is an elite quarterback. We're not saying that. And I know he needs to play.
What was the time of possession in the first 2 quarters? Answer me that. Riddle me that. If your defense is out there, obviously they're getting gassed. It's called logic. If you're out on the field more, you're more gassed, right? Do we not play football? Do we not know this?
That was a terrible game. But again, there's 30 other teams that's in the same position as the Cowboys. So I mean, only 2 teams can make it to the Super Bowl, man. So it's not one of these things that this is unheard of, because there's 30 other teams.
But what people overlook in that Packers game, the defense got to stop in that second drive, and Dak it up, and they pinned them on their own 20. They had to defend 20 yards, and they couldn't do it. Next thing you know, it's 21-0. The defense got put in a bad spot multiple times by that quarterback. And then before he even scored a touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys, he threw a flipping pick six. A pick six. Yeah. When does that? Do you give any fault to Dak Prescott for that Packers game, or is it just the defense?
No.
I'm asking this dude. Oh. What fault do you give Dak Prescott?
Hey, Cowboys corner. This dude's name is Clifford.
What fault do
the
you
first
give?
The first quarter of play was on Dak. First quarter of play was on Dak.
When he
first quarter. The first quarter.
So he screwed. So what about the second quarter? What did he do?
Okay.
He scored a touchdown with like 20 seconds to go in the 2-minute warning. You're going to give him praise for that?
That
Your
was a
standards
bad
are real
game.
low, Clifford.
Listen. Okay, guys, let's bring it back. That was a bad game. We all know that was a bad game. It was a lot of games like that. There was a lot of games. We can go back to the 49er game when he ran 40 yards and ran out of time. So there's a lot of things. So there's the good and the bad with Dak. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Dak fan, but at the same time, I can say that, he has done some things. I mean, so we have to acknowledge that as well. But again, our hopes is that one day he does take us to the Super Bowl. But, again, to be paid like he is, and I say this year, there's no excuses. I say there's no excuses for Dak this year. If he can stay healthy, I mean, you got what you need in order to be successful. Brian Schottenheimer, the jury's still out on him. So all this is going to come together here soon, and we're going to find out exactly what we have here. So, again, I'm at the point, like I say, right up my name, no more talk. There's no more talk.
Let me correct myself on something. I apologize. The pick six was in the second quarter, but they had already scored 20 points on the defense.
Why?
Again, because our run defense was trash. The touchdowns that were scored were Adam Jones, and then
you know why though? The second touchdown. Where do they start that drive? Where did they start?
I don't know where they started the drive.
In the red zone because Dak threw the interception. That's why
he was trying to force it to over that wide receiver.
Dak threw the interception in our red zone.
Nobody.
Not in their red zone.
Nobody. It was the second pass of the second drive, buddy. It was in their red zone. There was 20 yards away from scoring.
The ball starts at the 25-yard line, outside of the red zone.
You need to rewatch the game. You're misinformed.
I think he ran it back, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But, guys, we're going.
The run back was 64 yards.
Hey, guys, we're still talking about the past.
The
past is behind us. The past is behind us. We are looking forward to the future. We're looking at the Joe Milton III. We're looking at George Pickens. We're looking at Dak. We're looking at the Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know why
we're looking at defensive tackles.
We keep. I don't know why we keep going back. I don't get that.
You asked the Dak question.
Yeah,
you set me up for hype.
No. The question was, I mean, is it should they have their doubts, and if that's the case, why? And you told us why. So that's what was reported. So yeah, and I guess at the end of the day, we can say that the fan still has a reason to doubt Dak until he proves us different. That's where he's going to stand. Come on now.
And that's on period.
Yeah. So
MVP my ass.
So looking forward now. This is what we're looking at. What this team is going to look like. What is it going to take for them to be successful? So all that has yet to be seen in due time. So again, this is straight barbershop talk. That's one thing about you. Come on, what's up, Wednesday? You know how you go to the barbershop and somebody got something to say and somebody else goes to have something. That's what we do here on What's Up Wednesday. Give it up. Well, guys, it's 8 o'clock, and I done kept you guys a whole hour, and I sure appreciate everybody coming through. Cowboys Champ, Cowboys Corner.
I appreciate it.
Corno and Fleabug that's in behind. She's keeping everything straight, and we appreciate her as well. So, guys, thank y'all, man, for coming through, man, and let's get ready. We got about 4 more weeks, and we're going to see what's going to happen with these Cowboys. Let's go with some last words before we get out of here, starting with you, Cowboys Champ. What you got?
Like I said, right now we at the waiting until they start playing. I'm gonna start the preseason, but as right now, no Cowboy news is good news.
There you go. Give it up. Cowboys Corner, what you got?
Hey, Clifford, it's all love. I apologize.
It's all love, bro. No, you're good.
I'm passionate about these Cowboys, baby. And when there's a sore in the thorn of the side of Dak Prescott, it's a touchy subject for everybody. It's a touchy subject for everybody. So all love. Didn't mean if you felt disrespect by any way, that's just who I am. If you go watch any of my viral videos I got on my YouTube channel, you know I'm a passionate screamer. That's just who I am.
Talking crazy.
No, it's all good. It's all love.
True,
it's all good.
Very true.
I've got at it with Champs plenty of times. My boy, fifth quarter Cowboys. Back in the day, I've been on this platform for 11 years. I've criticized Romo. I've criticized Roy Williams, Zach Moore. I've criticized them all in 11 years right here on the tubes of the YouTube. But no, when it comes to these Cowboys, I want the same thing as you do, Clifford. I want that Super Bowl. I want
absolutely.
The Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
I don't want excuses. I want Super Bowls.
There you go. No
and
more
I think you missed the part earlier where we were talking about the two things they're going to have to do: run the ball, stop the run. That's going to help.
That's period, and that's on period. Because you run the ball, that's only going to help that. That's only going to help that.
And
be safe.
Yeah, that's what's going on, guys. Again, that's what we're a bunch of fanatics first. We're fanatics coming amongst other fanatics talking about our Cowboys. Now, we can talk about it. Anybody on the outside, you might get some of these bees right there. Again, this is what we do, man. Hey, again, thank y'all, man, for coming on tonight, hanging out with us on What's Up Wins on the Cowboy Huddle podcast. Do me a favor before you guys get out of here. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will be notified when the next video is posted. And like I always say, continue to stay safe and be blessed. Deuces, we're out.